Yo people, welcome back to another review, Loki Season 2, Episode 5. And I personally got to see what I wanted to see from this episode, who the TVA members were originally. Casey was basically the literal opposite of what he was at the TVA. B-15 was a nurse, doctor, whatever term you want to use. And she could have been around during the first Avengers battle where Loki shows up in New York. So who knows, maybe we could have got a little bit more of that, a little hint, or maybe I missed it, but that was cool to see as well. OB was a scientist with a passion for being an author, which ties into him writing the TVA book. And last but not least, Mobius was a jet ski salesman. That's why he has a fetish for jet skis. And while they did that, the episode was also showing that Loki was the one who created the TVA, and we saw essentially how it happened. The theme has been so big in this show, and this was yet another example of it, basically providing us the chance of creation or the birth of a new timeline after last episode where we saw everything got crushed and destroyed. Again, the cycle of ending and beginning. A few details I caught as well during the episode. When OB shocked Loki, the stick looked exactly like those prune sticks at the TVA. And also when Mobius was picking up his kids' toys, one of the ones that he picked up was wearing the exact clothes that those Minutemen at the TVA were wearing. So again, hinting at how the TVA all fits into this. I'll move on to a controversial point, and to be honest, I still have a Sylvie agenda. I still hope that she dies, but it's not going to happen, so I won't get my hopes up. But she has gotten away with doing so many things. She can just do whatever she wants, there's no consequences. Then she makes herself the victim. She literally killed He Who Remains, started all of this, and not once has anyone put the blame on her, pulled her up on it, or nothing. No accountability. She even gets told advice and she won't listen, she does the complete opposite. However, I will say her ignorance was actually the catalyst for Loki figuring out how to do the time slip. When he says it's not why, it's who, she basically made him realize he's doing this all for his friends, and that's what allows him to unlock the power. Even then she didn't mean it, but I guess it worked, it helped. Also, it's nice to see Loki be emotionally open about these things, especially compared to how he used to be. I would have personally preferred if this was the first time he had ever shown this public love for his friends. In season 1, one of the things that I didn't like was just how emotional Loki was after seeing that Thanos video. I feel like Loki would have been a bit more stubborn to accept the truth. We would have seen a gradual change of his character and still end up at this point. But yeah, whatever, it's not my story, I don't know anything about that. Anyways, since we're speaking about the time slipping, now that Loki has learned how to control it, it should come clutch in the future beyond the next episode. However, the question is, has he genuinely learned how to do it? Or is someone pulling the strings? Is it He Who Remains? Is this all part of his plan? Or maybe another Loki variant is doing all of this? I mean, He Who Remains did tell us last season that a Loki could take over and run the timeline if he died. Was he subtly and indirectly telling us that he knew all along that Loki used to be the head of the TVA? Another thing to remember is I think our Loki is starting to transform into the God of Stories Loki. And if so, he does have a run-in with Doctor Doom in the comics. So is that something we're going to be seeing soon in the MCU? Because funnily enough, Doctor Doom's MCU speculation increased massively this week out of nowhere. And apparently Marvel may scrap Kang, or at least demote him, and push Doctor Doom instead. Is it a coincidence? Now, I'm going to be getting into some spoilers territory. And these are, I think, proper spoilers. They're not rumors or I think these are proper spoilers. So if you don't want to hear anything, I appreciate you making it this far. Have a great day, like the video as well, appreciate that. Give me your thoughts if you have any, and cheers. Now, I'm someone who collects Funko Pops. I even have this Loki, for example. But why is this relevant? Well, I like to follow a lot of the rumors and the previews for these upcoming Funkos, and on Thursday, a day before the episode released, I saw a rumor that said 2 new Loki Season 2 Pops were coming out. The first one was called Don on the Jet Ski, and wouldn't you know it, in episode 5, we find out that Mobius used to be called Don, and he rides a jet ski in the episode. Since the episode came out, they've released a picture of what the Funko will look like. Now, Funko number 2 is labelled God Loki on Throne. So therefore, Funko is confirming that there will be another Loki, or our Loki is about to go crazy and reach his full potential. On top of that, to further boost that point, there's also been this comic book front cover which got leaked last week, and it was made for this season 2 of the show. We are yet to see this, so we have to assume this is an episode 6 thing. I personally hope that this ends up being our Loki instead of another variant. I wouldn't be against the other variant idea, but I think it's time we finally see our Loki back in his green attire, full potential, doing the magic. But yeah, overall from this episode, very well done. I've actually enjoyed episode 3, 4 and 5. Those have been my favorite episodes of this whole show. I'm someone who did not like season 1 at all, but I've liked season 2 for the most part. So fair play on them for turning it around in my opinion. But as always, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Like the video, sub to the channel if you haven't already. We are so close to 500 subs. Thank you for your time and have a great rest of your day.